welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we are playing the Rainbow Lich deck made popular by Ali Aintrazi. Now, Ali has made videos of his own covering this deck. It has been around on the internet. He also has a Twitch stream of his own. So for a long time, I thought I would leave it to the creator themselves to cover the deck. However, I continue to get requests for it, specifically by one of my $30 patrons, and I think it could be very fun to make a video tribute to Ali Aintrazi and this wacky 5-color combo control thing that this deck is. And but let's talk about Ali Aintrazi for a minute. He's been around Magic for a very long time. You can find results going well back over the years. In 2011, Ali Aintrazi was actually our national champion, playing a deck with I believe it was a consecrated Sphinx deck. I tried to look it up, but I got the good old 404 error from the Wizards articles that covered it. Wizards, why? But Ali's been on the Pro Tour many times. I couldn't find a number of times available for this one, and is constantly around the game. If you Google Ali Aintrazi's name, you'll see a lot of articles about playing different decks, almost always control decks and almost always big mana type decks in Standard. Also a podcast, the Think Twice podcast was Ali Aintrazi's, as well as Freshly Brewed, which is where I listen to his work the most. He's a frequent content creator. Currently, I believe he writes for Cool Stuff Inc., and he has a Twitch channel that is certainly taking off under Ali Aintrazi. So make sure that you check out his work yourself, and if you haven't before, I'm really happy to throw some attention his way, not try to take credit for his masterful, ridiculous creation. Now let's talk about the creation. What the heck is this? The first time I was sent this deck and asked to play it, my head just about exploded, and even after playing it several times, I get into places where I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But trying to keep it going. The deck has been tweaked and changed and rearranged over and over, and what I found here is, I think, the most recent version. I got it off of Ali's Stream Decker, so I think that this is recent. So if it has some cards different from a version you've seen or have played before, don't be surprised that Ali tweaks his decks regularly for the meta and for what's going on. And what we really are is a control deck full of Settle the Wreckage, Vraska's Contempt, a little bit of life gain, a little bit of card draw, sweepers. Mirari Conjecture plays well in a control shell, but then there's a combo just lurking beneath the surface with Lich's Mastery and Chance for Glory. You see, when you play Chance for Glory, you get an extra turn for 3 mana. That's really good. But at the beginning of that end step, you lose the game. That's really bad. However, Lich's Mastery, line number 1 says, you can't lose the game. Ha! You can't lose the game. Well, that is a combo, and when you combine it with Mirari Conjecture to get back the Chance for Glory and cast it again, and then cast Chance for Glory again when Mirari's Conjecture goes off for double turns, that's where the deck starts to be absurd. Mastermind's Acquisition gives you full access to the deck and the sideboard, and in the sideboard are all kinds of different ways. What inevitably people have to ask is, what's the win con? The main deck has some Lyra Dawnbringers, and those are good in certain matchups. We'll get into that in a minute. But the main win con is a Fight with Fire kicked on your Mirari's Conjecture turn to deal 20 damage to the face. Right. Also lurking is Vivid Revival, which is a sorcery that can get back Chance for Glory, as well as up to 2 other multicolored cards. And since it's a sorcery, Mirari's Conjecture can get it back, so it also can repeat the process over and over and over. A 1,000-Year Storm, still trying to figure out exactly what or when you put that in and make that go off. Some of the additions are very different from some of what Ali has written about, which makes it all a little bit complicated and a bit of a choose your own adventure here on the channel. I'm Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, we'll get into using the sideboard. The Unmoored Ego is pretty crucial. You can take out an opponent's Cleansing Nova, which is the main way that Lich's Mastery gets destroyed and causes you to lose the game. So Unmoored Ego for Cleansing Nova before you play your Lich's Mastery is sometimes a great call against the decks that would have that card. Alright, and a Zakama, because sure, let's win that way. But this is the main deck. Let's get into the sideboard guide. Against white aggro decks and green-white token decks, the main thing that you want to bring in are your Deafening Clarions and the additional Settle the Wreckage. And the things that you need to bring out would be the Notion Rain, because it doesn't really do that much in the matchup, and the Search for Azcanta, because they're both cards that get run over pretty quickly. So against white aggro decks, you don't have to change too much. Play like a control deck. You have all the sweepers, so use all the sweepers to buy you time to put your combo together, and you'll be in good shape. Aside from that, you leave in Lyra. The opponent may cut their removal, or they may dedicate their Conclave Tribunals to taking out your Gift of Paradise. We've seen this before. And Lyra can still gain constant life in this battle and be obnoxious to remove. So Lyra generally should stay. If they are the kind of green-white deck with Vivian Reed, perhaps that is a cuttable thing, but you already have a lot of enchantments that you don't want targeted by Vivian Reed, so overloading their Reed might not be the worst idea. I also cut one Chance for Glory in this specific matchup because I feel like with the sweepers you can find the time you need to put the combo together, and you don't need all the chances for Glory in that case. Next up is the red sideboard guide, a challenging matchup to be sure. Against what you want to bring in for the red matchup is you want to bring in the Deafening Clarions again. And you want to, where's the other Clarion? It must be lurking somewhere. Anyway, sometimes this deck builder just blows my mind with what it does. You also want to bring in the other Settle the Wreckage. But as you're going to see here, obviously you leave in Lyra, you're going to take out the Cleansing Novas. They're a bit too slow and a bit too clunk. You're going to pull out a Search for Azcanta because it also is a bit slow, and you're going to pull a Notion Rain from the deck. So that's what you take out. You put in 2 Deafening Clarions. For some reason here it only shows 1. Oh, and it's at 59 cards. The deck builder, my friends. This, I hope, does get fixed soon. I think we need a more dynamic deck builder to take this to the next level, but it's a very minor complaint. I can work with what I have. I just want a little more. All right. Also, in this matchup, especially if you are on the draw, you are in a lot of trouble if your hand does not contain Deafening Clarion or Gift of Paradise. Those cards are so crucial. Just giving you a heads up on that. Let's go over here to the Golgari version. Not a lot of changes necessary in the Golgari version. I want the extra Settle the Wreckage and the Deafening Clarions so that I don't lose to the Explore Dorks, who are just going to come at you and try to run you over. And aside from that, you don't need too much. This is a matchup where cutting Lyra is the move, because Lyra dies to Chupacabra and Vivian and all these other things. It's just, it's not that impressive. It simply won't get you what you need most of the time. Also in this matchup, because I don't feel as under pressure as in the other matchups, I'm happy to cut the Revitalize. With the sweeper count that we have, it should still be able to buy plenty of time while also getting the combo together. Revitalize isn't key in that role, so I prefer the Settle the Wreckage and the Clarions over having the Revitalize in the deck. And finally, Control. This is the fun one. Against Control, we take the combo out and basically turn the deck into a weird 4-color board control tap-out abomination. Bring in all your hand disruption to attack their hand. Try to save your attack on their hand until you think you can hit a Teferi. Use Unmoored Ego to also knock out Niv Mizzet or Teferi, whichever the game state makes more essential. Try to win with a doubled up Fight with Fire after some hand disruption on your Mirari Conjecture turn. Keep your Lyras, just keep them under pressure and off balance, make them have removal in their deck, and throw in whatever all this is, extra weirdo threats to mess with them. Thousand Year Storm, Overflowing Insight, Zakama. Bang, bang, bang. And take out the combo. Like I said, the Revitalize can go. 4 Chance for Glories out. The Deafening Clarion, Settle the Wreckages, and Cleansing Novas. All the sweepers out. And the Lich's Mastery itself. Too big, too clunk. Out. All right, I'm excited to try out the deck. I hope that you've enjoyed this little sideboarding guide and a bit of a history on Aintrazi, although very, very unofficial and brief. And I look forward to playing the games. I hope you enjoy them too. This hand needs a green source and it would be great, but I don't predict just pulling that off the top, so let's mulligan. This hand has green sources. It can't cast the Revitalize or the Chance for Glory, but it can cast the Discovery, so I think we try to put it all together. I didn't cover the mana base much in the deck. I'm trusting Ali. It looks wild to me. It's got pieces of everything. An uncastable Settle that can go. So I am playing the deck in competitive play, which is best of 3 ladder. Ali has certainly proven that this could be a competitive deck for the competitive constructed best of 3 events. However, I haven't proven that to myself. I struggle quite a bit with the deck, and I'm sure I will make some terrible misplays throughout the course of the video at some point. It just seems destined to happen. Our Gift of Paradise may get countered, so I think it's safe to take taking the land is a safe call. So yeah, I thought competitive play, best 2 out of 3 ladder play is the right place for me in this deck. It's certainly not quite meta. I don't think anybody can get upset with me for playing a deck this wacky. I'll play the basic forest and attempt to put the Gift of Paradise on the basic land to avoid Field of Ruin. 2 Chance for Glory is not ideal, but if we find a Lich's Mastery, it could be really great. It's just all about what we draw off the top. Also, our opponent didn't slow down for even a second there. Not even a second. Let's try the Revitalize. Yeah, our opponent doesn't have any counter magic yet. There's not even a pause. So if we draw a Lich's Mastery, it's on. Sultai what? Sultai nada. Well, I think at this point we start using our Conjecture to discover and discover some more. So let's get it going. Discovery, getting 3 cards deeper and drawing a card, I like considerably more than gain 3 life, draw a card, as getting specific cards is what this deck's really looking for. All right, let's do some digging. Oh. Misplay count number 1. I should not have grabbed Discovery Dispersal because this ticks up and gets a sorcery. So I should have, because Discovery is both a sorcery and instant, I could have grabbed the Revitalize, then on my next turn grabbed the other side of it, and I would have Revitalize in my hand right now in addition. So, all right, well, this can go fetch the Lich's Mastery and another Mirari Conjecture if I save it till next turn and cast it on the turn when spells are doubled. So that's my plan. Okay, land off the top, trigger Conjecture, so now double spell on everything. It's buy one, get one free day. And that's so appropriate because I'm recording this on Black Friday. So many BOGO promotions out there. So right away I'm going to grab the Lich's Mastery. Second up, I'm going to grab the Mirari Conjecture number 2 to keep the party going. I'll play out my land, pass the turn. I could have had Vraska's Contempt open if I had tapped differently. Oops. There's Thought Erasure. Ouch. Let's see what they pick. They pick the Mastery. Well, unfortunately for them, Conjecture can get back the, what's the word I'm looking for? Let's have a look and think. Conjecture can get back Discovery Dispersal, and then it can get back Mastermind's Acquisition, if they didn't draw a counterspell here. Well, They know about the Conjecture, so they should hold a counter for it regardless. But let's see if we can resolve a search for Azcanta. Yeah, they still are without counter magic. Maybe they don't play it. Maybe they're a Sultai board control strategy. And we're getting to the point where we almost have enough mana to play the Mastery on the same turn that we get it. Oh, library. All right, transform. And I think we can go for this. What could the opponent actually do? All right, tap carefully. Black, black, black. We don't have a natural red source, so I need to leave a red and a white available. Here's a Mastery. Now there's a pause. I wonder if it's an Assassin's Trophy. Here's a chance for glory. Let's cast that on the end step. Just give the opponent chances to do things if that's what they plan to do. Okay, nothing. Let's go for it. Dispersal. And we lose? Dispersal loses the game? Because Lich's Mastery left the battlefield? Wait. What just happened? Why did I win the game? Hold on. You can't lose the game. When it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. I should have lost the game, and my opponent conceded. Oh my goodness. What? Anyway, I don't know quite what I'm up against. It didn't have creatures, though. Let's... Sorry, I'm so... Why did they concede? Why did I win that game? It makes no sense. All right. Combo out. That was something. I don't know what, but something happened there. Our opponent could be playing with Carnage Tyrant, which does make me wonder if I should leave in some sweepers. However, I do have ways. I have Discovery Dispersal, which is good against Carnage Tyrant, and I can go get the sweepers from the sideboard with the Mastermind's Acquisition. So it's not like I have no way to do it. So we're just turning into a weird Mirari Conjecture control deck. And yeah, I don't know what happened at the end of game one. I can't imagine. There should have been a Lich's Mastery trigger on the stack that ended the game. All right. We don't have blue. Is that worth mulliganing for? I think I just keep this awkward hand. It's not like we'll be under a ton of pressure. I should be able to find time. But without blue, this could be ugly. End step, stoppage of play for nothing. Odd. My opponent has a discovery of their own, surveilling 2 and drawing a card. They kept both their cards on top and drew, which is scary. And it does mean we should expect a battle. I think I'll save the duress for at least another turn, though. Like, what could my opponent do for 3? Thief of Sanity? I can't duress that anyway. I do have a Thought Erasure to follow up with, though, next turn. Alright, let's duress now. Maybe what the opponent took was really good. Okay, they have Eldest Reborn and Carnage Tyrant. This won't matter too much. We do have a Lyra, but that's, like, Lyra's the only thing this will hit. And the Carnage Tyrant is what we have to, long game, think about. But for right now, we'll take away their Thought Erasure. Now they're going to draw something that they kept on top right here. Let's see if they play it. It's another Thought Erasure, of course it is. And I think the take is my Thought Erasure, but they take Thousand Year Storm. Now that we can get that back with Vivid Revival. If we find it. And now I could take away their Eldest Reborn. Or I could take away their Carnage Tyrant, but Eldest Reborn does get back a Carnage Tyrant. It just takes a bit longer, though. like 2 turns longer, and I have to discard a card. Plus we have Mastermind's Acquisition. We can take care of Tyrant when we need to. Alright. So Eldest Reborn down. Vivid Revival, we found it. That didn't take long. And we have a Notion Rain to get back with it, as well as the Thousand Year Storm and a Thought Erasure. So, combo achieved. Our opponent, board control Carnage Tyrant shenanigans. I wouldn't be surprised though if Negate snuck into the deck. Ooh, I can take both of these. Those make me very happy. A land would actually be better than a Lantern because of our situation, but alas. Okay, our opponent has a card.
I made you a gift.
Overflowing Insight. God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, the Lantern's the only play right this minute. We could have... We don't have double black there to tutor and get a solution to Tyrant here. And here he is. So the question now,
I learned a few tricks
against this board, what do we do? I think I go acquire a Cleansing Nova. I need a Vraska's Contempt to take out the Master, but there are a lot of those in the deck. Alright, outside the game. Settle is optimistic. We'll grab the Nova. We also don't have an instant yet, which is... Tezzeret's going to start drawing a card a turn. Alright. Let's nuke him. And they did not find a negate, which would have been curtains. God, this draw's been awkward. Doom Whisperer. Okay, they brought in... They got all the big guns now. We're going to have to get some kind of removal back into the build. Let's see. It's not lethal. So I can play this get nothing and then next turn get the Nova. I guess that's my line, because I can't do anything else with this extra clunky, horrific hand. The opponent can surveil their whole deck. If they have a negate in their deck, they could have drawn it right here, but they didn't, which is tells me that they have one. Let's go for this. Contempt I'm going to try to do next turn. So negate. Yeah, they do have the negate. Alright. That wasn't close. Missed sideboarding, I suppose. So let's get some of these, let's get this stuff back into the deck, since now we know a little bit more about our opponent. Oh, maybe they boarded into it, or maybe they had it first game and it never showed up. Just more threat heavy than we expected. And I'm going to move a good number of these cards back into the sideboard, where I can still go fetch them. Lyra's probably too. I saw the Eldest Reborn. So I'll get the Revival back in because it's spell-based and can't be taken advantage of by Eldest Reborn. And yeah, I think I'm happier going this route now. I'll take the play. So hopefully Gift of Paradise fixes up our mana. We do need to draw one more land. This can enter tapped. I will duress next turn to try to take out Thought Erasure though. And now we also know that our opponent plays Negate. so we may have to save a card like Duress for that. I'm glad to draw the land. That's very nice. So what do we got? Negate, Duress, Eldest Reborn. Well, I wonder if I can get a negate on my Gift of Paradise. I bet I can. And then I do have another one, so it's not a big deal. But the opponent doesn't have black mana, so maybe I just ignore their Duress, but that is the best thing they have against me because of the Conjecture. So I'm going to take the Duress. With my luck, the opponent will totally top deck the black mana. 2 Doom. I can't believe they kept this hand, by the way. I guess they figured they wouldn't be under pressure, therefore they could. So let's go for this, and the opponent hopefully will negate it. Nope. Okay, they're going to hold off. That's okay. If they let me build up my mana, we can Duress away the negate on the crucial turn. Thought Erasure. That works as well. Let's see, if I go 1, 2, 3, then I still have... Nope. I can't do both. I can do this. Into this, or this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We again don't have an instant, so I can't really just drop the Conjecture. Yep, let's pass turn. Let's be patient. The opponent found a black source. Alright, we found a Contempt. So now, let's see if we can resolve this. Two mana of any color, let's make it black. Let's lead with a Duress. And as you can see, we have the Thought Erasure on backup duty. That's so I can get the Surveil. Disinformation Campaign, Eldest Reborn, 2 Doom Whisperers, and a Tyrant. With funky mana. Let's take away their campaign. And there's a Discovery Dispersal. That is basically what we needed. I could have put it in the graveyard and got it back with Conjecture next turn. Maybe that would have been better. Keep adding to my misplay count. But then we'd have the Conjecture on the battlefield instead of in the hand, where it's sort of dangerous. But we wouldn't get the first discovery, so it's tough. There's kind of 2 ways to do that. All right, we can draw another Duress to go with the land next turn to resolve the Conjecture. All right. And we have the mana up for a Contempt on the Doom Whisperer, if the opponent finds their black source. Now we have to start worrying about Carnage Tyrant. But let's fire off the Duress. And there is a Disdainful Stroke, so that has to go. And the opponent very threat heavy in that hand now. I mean, it's piling up big time. Here comes the Conjecture. There's the Discovery. Though this is very good against their expensive things, including Carnage Tyrant. They know about the Dispersal. And here comes the Tyrant. Hold on. Can I put... Nope. Can't stop. Can't stop it. Okay. So what I wanted to do there was cast this on the Dispersal side, then get it back again with the Conjecture, so I had it again for a double next turn, and I missed the window. But we can still do that, sort of. The problem is, of course... I wonder if I take 7 and then do this on the opponent's turn. And bounce 2 things. I think I can take the other Carnage Tyrant. What's my opponent going to do? Play the Eldest Reborn, and then I can bounce, make them double discard if I take 7. I can also attack their hand. Like, I can wipe their hand out if I wait a turn, right? Yes. Yes, I can. And I don't see a way for them to interact with that. So we will wait a turn. That big threatening hand. Let's get rid of it. Please don't tell me they drew something to kill the Conjecture. It would be heartbreaking. Assassin's Trophy. Oh, Chemist's Insight. Okay. Discarding a Doom Whisperer. Makes sense. They still need the second black. Here comes Carney T. We have 26 life. We'll go to 19. That's okay. And we'll see if my opponent plays another permanent or not. They do. Okay. So, that's a nice pull for them. Let's think. I don't really, like, giving up the Contempt is meh. We're going to double spell next turn, so everything's okay with that. So do I Dispersal them now and put their campaign back in their hand? Yeah, I guess I can make them, or no, on their turn with the double. That's when I double Dispersal. They discard 2 cards. I thought Erasure 2 cards. They'll actually have a lot of cards. Ah. It's weird because I could make them Surveil instead of the double Dispersal, but I think it's worth it. So here we go. Oh, yay. All right. Dispersal. So that will return their 2 permanents to hand, and they have to discard. Two Eldest Reborns down. Now I will erase their thoughts twice. Yay for Mirari Conjecture control. Ooh, negate. Ugh. Well, if the opponent taps out for the Carnage Tyrant, they can't replay the negate. And I do have another Dispersal. But if I take both Tyrants, they pass the turn over to me and I have to navigate the negate, which is a problem. What if I take the Disinformation campaign and the negate and I use Dispersal on their next Carnage Tyrant as well? Yeah, I don't want to be ground out by the Disinformation campaign. I need to keep my Discovery. So that's going for sure. Let's see what the Surveil shows us, not this. And then the negate, I think, is the most pressing thing. The opponent can untap, replay Tyrant. We can disperse it again or work on finding our... Whoa, vocals. And work on finding our answers to the Tyrant, like sweepers and such. So I think we let the opponent have their dinosaurs and keep them from having their interaction with us. I think that plays to the top of my deck the best, although if I'm going to top deck nonsense the rest of the game, that's very disappointing. Okay, let's go get our 1,000-Year Storm on the battlefield and Cleansing Nova next turn if the opponent plays out another Tyrant. Okay, they play a Whisperer. It's pretty smart. Now they can Surveil into a negate and basically one-up us. And we are relying on the top of the deck. It's gone pretty cold on us. We'll see how low the opponent's willing to Doom Whisper. They could go low enough that I top deck Fight with Fire. That would be fun. Alright, did they keep? Looks like they kept. Yeah, they did keep a card. Okay, they got rid of the 1,000-Year Storm. I don't know how crucial that really was, but they did it. Top decking land. I've had enough. Can we stop now? Now would be a good time to stop. Azcanta. Alright, hold on to your butts. We're going down to 5. We'll get a flipped Azcanta moment. We have 3 Settles in the deck. Graveyard, transform. But we may also find Cleansing Nova or Mastermind's Acquisition. There's a Nova. There's also a Discovery Dispersal. Instant speed. How about the Revival? For 2 mana, I don't have an interaction with Carnage Tyrant, so taking that won't work. So let's try this. Of course, the opponent could have a negate. Nope. Okay. And we don't know the hand, so we got out all the Doom Whisperers, all the Eldest Reborns, all the Carnage Tyrants. So what is in the hand? Vraska's Contempt? Removal? Thought Erasure just to surveil. Ooh, hand hate cards. Maybe there's a duress in the hand as well. Alright. I don't think they have a negate. Let's see what happens. What do we want? Instant first. I don't need a Contempt. It looks like the pick is pretty clearly the Discovery Dispersal. And then the second time through, we can grab Thought Erasure or more Discovery Dispersal. So, let's go for it. And the opponent's going to scoop him up. They don't want to play anymore against his Azcanta Discovery Dispersal nonsense. The end game, since the opponent conceded, is of course using more Thought Erasures and Duresses to clear their hand, and on the double spell turn, Mastermind's Acquisition, go get the Fight with Fire, nail him for 20. I will play first. I will almost always choose to play first. And this is a happy to play first hand because we get turn 2 Plaza, turn 3 Gift of Paradise, or an Ocean Rain, and of course Cleansing Nova. So, an accelerated Cleansing Nova is a pretty darn good keep most of the time. Of course, the arena is mostly aggressive, but there is more control in competitive play ladder than elsewhere. Let's play this and pay our 1 mana to keep it around. It produces a mana of any color, but you do have to pay 1 when it enters the battlefield, so it's a little worse than a tap land. And it looks like we get Jeskai control, so yay. Let's start the Gift of Paradise. That didn't look like a counterspell, but our opponent, of course, quite likely running Sinister Sabotage, and or Ionize. Oh, a tap land. Alright, well, in case they are playing counter magic, this plays around Syncopate, and it's what I would most like to resolve. Conjecture, I don't need this, but I do need this. And a Discovery Dispersal, excellent. So I can play that this turn and maybe resolve this next turn, since my opponent doesn't appear to have counter magic yet. Life total doesn't matter much, so paying life is okay. Chance for Glory is good. Lyra Dawnbringer is dead-ish in the matchup, very bad in the matchup. But if we're going to beat our opponent, there's kind of a thing where we have to assemble our combo with Chance for Glory and Lich's Mastery. We have to play Chance for Glory in response to them tapping out at the end of our turn to do something like a Chemister's Insight, and then we play our Lich's Mastery and try to go off. That's the line in game 1. We don't have a lot of choice in the matter. Alright, let's see if our Conjecture resolves. You want to play into 4 open mana from the control deck because usually they might have Chemister's Insight instead of a counterspell. And it looks like that's what's happened. We can put this out tapped because we have no other use for the mana this turn. We do have a sorcery to get back in Notion Rain, but if my opponent resolves something, I may want to use the Dispersal side, then get back Discovery Dispersal. That's why I put up the stops. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I can take those stops back off. I'm happy to get a Notion Rain. And now the trick is, can we find a Lich's Mastery? If we find a Lich's Mastery on top, life is really good. We could also just try to build up mana for the double Conjecture turn. But the opponent's likely to flash back their Chemister's Insight this turn. So if we can find Lich's Mastery now, it's a very good thing, as we should be able to almost close the game if we do. Let's see, we could also go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. if I play Gift of Paradise, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I can Discovery Dispersal and Gift of Paradise and save the Notion Rain for the next turn. It only digs 1 card less deep, but we have more mana available for the big turn, which I think is worth it. Since we're not as likely to find Mastery, but we definitely want plenty of mana for the big draw my deck turn. All right, Gift resolves. Do I play Chance for Glory off this mana? Yes, I do, if I find the Mastery. Search for Azcanta is great, though. I'll take it. So when this goes off, how much mana will I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if there is, in the top 9 cards of my deck, a Mastery, we can Chance of Glory when the opponent taps out and then go on to win the game. That's the kind of crazy shot in the dark I feel like taking. Oh my gosh. For the video. Let's go for it. For the video. If they tap out. If they don't tap out, we're not going for it. If they do, though. Here it is. YOLO. Let's go for this. So we have to find Lich's Mastery by the end of this turn. So it's all up to our Notion Rain. A silly chance, you might say. But I can be a silly Magic player. Paid off instantly. Now, if the opponent has Cleansing Nova, of course, it's all sadness. Making sure I don't accidentally play a tap land. All right, we are still alive. Don't Nova me. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a very tough matchup in game 1, taking chances, and for the, for the audience. God, I would have a hard time playing that if it were just me in a tournament, but the fact that I'm recording for a YouTube video, I want it to work so badly, I'm willing to take the chance. And our opponent's going to main phase Insight. You can sense the desperation. You can feel it. All right, 2 Chance for Glories. Let's see if this resolves. Ready? If they counter it, we can Conjecture or play the other chance, and we should be able to win. Here comes the Conjecture. We have a turn after this one. Conjecture gets Chance of Glory. Let's see if this opponent will stick around and play it out with us. Let's play out the Search for Azcanta. Ten cards in the graveyard. All right. A Syncopate for 1. That's what they were hanging on to. That's okay. We really don't need Search for Azcanta. For the sorceries, now that we have the Mastery out, the Notion Rain is a bit awkward. Although we have plenty of things to exile. The 2 damage means that you have to exile 2 permanents every time you play it. Discovery is cheaper, but Notion Rain gets deeper. Cheaper but deeper. Rhymes. I will take the Rain, because we have plenty of cards to exile, and now our graveyard count doesn't matter without the Azcanta. Also, by the way, when Lyra Dawnbringer damages our opponent, we will draw 5 cards. Let's do another Chance for Glory, shall we? And we'll save this one for next turn for the double up. So here comes the double up. We'll double Chance for Glory, which gives us 2 more turns, which should be plenty. This will draw 5 cards. So let's do that. That sounds really fun. We only need 4 turns to win the game, so finding 1 more Chance for Glory or 1 more Conjecture or 1 more Mastermind's acquisition does the job. So double Chance for Glory. Now, how many are in the graveyard? Is it 3? 3. So there's 1 more in the deck. Mastermind's acquisition, search for the other Chance for Glory, as well as, I don't know, pick your poison. And that game is over. Alright, let's play first, and hand is too slow, I think. Although if we draw a land plus any ramp, nope, nah. Don't talk yourself into that. This is better. Because we have the discovery, and I don't need Lyra this early. Voice crack, what the heck? Llanowar Elves, here we go. Didn't I just bottom you? What the hell? Alright, we're looking for one of our ramp cards. We don't get one. We don't even get a land. So I'll keep the discovery and we'll keep digging deeper for those cards. And it's Jadelight Ranger. Looks like Golgari is on the way. And they do find a Golgari Guildgate, which is most likely what they're looking for. Alright, let's discover some more. Keep trying to piece this hand together. A Chance for Glory. So, the Lich's Mastery deck, the combo is pretty good here against Golgari. Lyra Dawnbringer not so much because of Chupacabra, but the combo is pretty good. The problem right now is we have no mana fix. So like this, we have no way to even play our black mana. So I'm gonna put this in the graveyard. We can always get it back later with Conjecture. And we find the Mastery, so, yep. So we still have to fix up our mana. Our mana's really awkward right now. And we're out of ways to do it. Discovery trying to fix our hand. Not quite doing it. Alright, those critters come in. So, yeah, there we are. We can't cast Settle, we can't cast Revitalize, or we can't cast Contempt. So let's Revitalize. And, okay, well, we drew a land that we can play next turn to turn on at least the Vraska's Contempt. I should have Revitalized first, and I could have played this tapped, but I blew it on that one. There's Underrealm Lich, okay? So we'll pay 2 life and take that out before it does anything too nasty to us. We also now have triple black for Mastery, if we want to jam the Mastery at some point. However, we need to clean up the creatures badly, and an Assassin's Trophy goes to the graveyard. Yeah, I think I need to dig for a white source. I really do want a Conjecture. You have no idea how badly, but I'm going to just die here. Let's see. 13, 10, 6, 4. And the Conjectures don't, like, set me up. God, this whole hand has been the most awkward thing in the world. All right. Let's pay 1. We're gonna find out next turn if our opponent knows about the Settle. And they're not playing more creatures. Perhaps they're thinking about Trophy on my Plaza to see if I have another white mana in my deck. I think I run 1 Plains, don't I? That would be a really funny outcome. Yep, look at him go. Look at him go play around Settle. Good boy. However, they didn't leave a lethal board. I think the right attack is the 3-2 and the 2-1, so that there's still a lethal board next turn. But there you go. They've got another creature. They're fine. They had a plan. They had a plan. And the 4th Jade Light Ranger. Yes, of course, of course. All right. Well, I destroy all your things. And we're almost to this point where I can jam this Lich's Mastery. All the exploring. Nothing but exploring. Okay, Chance for Glory's here. So I think I play this out. I take 1 hit, I exile some cards, then I can untap and go for like Chance for Glory and Lyra. Can I do that? I don't have enough white to do that. But we'll see. Maybe we can figure it out. So the way it is, when I take damage, I have to exile cards from my graveyard, from my hand, or permanents from the battlefield. So we definitely start with the graveyard, since it's the most not important stuff. Our opponent right now is probably trying to Assassin's Trophy this Lich's Mastery and forgetting how Hexproof works. Very common. Alright, now you do have to remember we're a Mirari Conjecture deck, so there are a number of cards we can get back. What do we want back? Well, we don't need Monotony in the graveyard, so we don't need multiple Vraska's Contempts. Or Discovery Dispersals, I suppose, although that is the most likely one to get multiples back of. And we're at 0, but not dead. Isn't Magic great? What a game. And they played out their Chupa. Do you think they have another? They might not have another. So it's really tempting to play a Chance for Glory here. But God, would it be... Let's see, can I do that? 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens here. If I play the Lantern, then I have 6 mana. How much of a graveyard do I have? 8. This is a 7-point attack, so we can exile most of our graveyard. But next turn we can play Lyra and be able to use Chance for Glory to make it indestructible. That doesn't matter though if they have Vraska's Contempt, and these decks often do. But getting to attack with Lyra, I think, is what we need. And if I put it out there and they have another Chupacabra, nothing matters. And if they have an Assassin's Trophy, nothing matters. And I think they do. So yeah, we're going to take this line. Our opponent might trophy this Lantern, which I wouldn't recommend. Now we could also Chance for Glory hoping to draw another, but I think I'm willing to take another attack. I think so. Eight in the grave, we're exiling 7. So what's the card to leave in the graveyard? It's typically Discovery Dispersal. Discovery Dispersal you can get on both sides and has really nice effects. Another Chance for Glory. We do have one in the hand, so it's going right back to the graveyard. And another Contempt. There we go. And anything else? Okay, my turn. Big turn. If they have a Vraska's Contempt, I'm in trouble. Ooh, this draws 3 cards. Well, regardless, I'm going to Chance for Glory and have another turn to play this anyway, so I don't need to do it now. So here we go. Now let's try passing the turn. We want to play this in response to something like an Assassin's Trophy, right? We don't want to play it like if we play this and they trophy us in response, that's not good. What if they have multiple trophies? Then do we lose? We might. They touch their hand too. But if they can't remove this, all right, I'm gonna play gutsy and try to pass the turn here. I feel like the trophy's coming. And oh, it's a Contempt. Well, that's too bad, but we're still going to play this Chance for Glory to take another turn anyway, which is, now we're relying on this Gift of Paradise and the 3 cards it's going to draw. Okay, we drew a Nova. Wow. Destroy him. Let's put out our Search for Azcanta to get that Assassin's Trophy. And we'll put this out. We don't have 2 life to pay, so it automatically enters the battlefield tapped because we're at frickin' -4. And the opponent doesn't have a trophy. Library, that draws 3 more cards. Keep it coming. The comeback is real. Masterminds. We can go get... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can get a 6-drop, like 1,000 Year Storm, but I think what we want is a Mirari Conjecture. So let's go get Mirari Conjecture. And get back Chance for Glory. It's hard to argue with Time Walk. And then we'll get the Acquisition the next turn. Yep, all your explory dorks aren't gonna do it now. The shenanigans have become too extreme. All right, let's head to Graveyard. Yeah, the Nova can go now. And anything else before I go absolutely nuts? All right, Graveyard. Filling the graveyard with the Azcanta is very good. Oh, yes. All right, so we want this Acquisition. Do we have any glories down here? There is 1 glory down here. But they're at 22, so we can't win next turn with Fight with Fire. Unless we got it back and cast it for a 3rd time. So we'll play this. We will take a Chance for Glory to get to the next turn. I'm also going to Contempt their Branch Walker to draw 2 cards. Back to 0. Isn't life grand? All right, pass the turn, I think. Just looking around, anything else I need to do. It's a legendary, so putting 1 into battlefield though and then letting it leave I think does trigger it, so we don't want to do that to get it into the graveyard for a card for Search for Azcanta. Just explaining why I might want to, but I don't think that's the play. All right, let's search our library for a card. Let's go get another Chance for Glory. We'll cast those this turn. Let's go get another Lyra Dawnbringer. Let's see if the opponent is able to beat it. Here's Lyra. Here's Chance. So we have 4 turns coming after this one. If that's not enough to figure out how to win, I don't know what is. Don't make me go get Zakama with this Mastermind's Acquisition. Graveyard is fine. Transform you. All right, combat, attack. Draw 5. We did it. And play a land. I will go acquire. I will. Why not? Is there a funner way to win? Roar. Yeah, I know. Misplays. Don't care. And now we can draw our whole deck using the gain 3 life thing. Hiya! I know, it's a little bit trolly, but it does show off what the deck can do, which I think is fun. And for those of you who hate me for it, remember, it's entertainment. It's a game. Some of you are very, very defensive of my opponents, being like, consider their time. Yes. Everybody in a one-on-one match, it's very nice of you to consider time, but I battle for the greater good, for the entertainment of the people. So, empty library, but we still cannot lose the game. That's how Lich's Mastery works. And I'll pass it back to myself one more time. Besides, the opponent sitting through it, they definitely want to see a little bit of it themselves. They're not sitting over there being angry, or they would have conceded. They're sitting over there being, let's see what you do. I want to see your whole deck. There is something to be said for giving away information in Game 1 in a serious competitive setting, which this is not. This is Arena Ladder. Don't get it twisted. All right, we can keep in our combo in this matchup. I do like having the sweepers, so we don't lose to those early explored dorks. Is there anything else to really worry about here? I don't think so. And what are the cuts? The Dawnbringers, even though the Dawnbringer looked really good there, I pull them in this matchup because they are a bit too vulnerable to Chupacabras and such nonsense that keeping them around is a liability. So we just we stay a combo deck, but we turn into a bit of a control package. And the last card is, I don't think I need Revitalize to live all that much, but it sure can come in handy. There's nothing that we really need to play around or avoid. We didn't, like, we saw Assassin's Trophy, which can go after Mastery, but you still get value from a play like that. Being on the draw, can we cut a land? We might actually be able to. The problem I would have is, what land do I cut? What did we pull out? We pulled out 2 Lyras, so maybe an Isolated Chapel can go, or maybe a Grove can go. All right, yeah, we'll pull 1 Grove. All right, let's roll. When I'm on the draw, I don't feel that bad cutting a land sometimes, as the extra draw step does keep the odds pretty close to the same that you'll draw on curve. The curve your deck is designed to draw to. This deck wants to get up to 4 lands most of the time, which is why running 26 is normally the idea, but when you throw an extra draw step in there, 25 is passable. And there you go. Now we can't cast this Settle, or this Conjecture, or this Mastery, but we have 4 lands, and I think we can keep it. And we'll see if I'm wrong. The opponent's going to open with Llanowar Elves, which is, ugh. We drew a playable. That's nice. We don't have a mountain or a plains here, so this is my land for next turn, also tapped. Oh boy. Let the creature spam begin. This is where a Deafening Clarion would be nice. Alright, Gift of Paradise off the top, and voila, our whole hand works. Voila! Yep, the dorks keep on coming, don't they? All right, the basic land. Nobody plays Field of Ruin anymore, but good habits are good habits. We'll keep enchanting basic lands with our Gift of Paradise. They do have Assassin's Trophy, which is an interesting little wrinkle against Gift of Paradise. You still want to put it on your least valuable land. Ta-da! Look who it is. It's Vraska. All right, Vraska, you have to go right away, in fact. And for the leftovers, hopefully Settle will do the job. Oh boy. The opponent is jamming. Good for them. Let's go for black. Let's go for green. So now what I want to do is play Discovery, Dispersal. Actually, you know what? No, I can use this. If the opponent only attacks with Carnage Tyrant, I can bounce Carnage Tyrant. If they attack with everything, I can settle them. If they attack with some mix, I'll figure it out. Oh, it's like that, huh? Okay. That might be the best settle I've had in a long time. I don't remember the last time somebody would just shoved all at me, and that's game. Oh my goodness. Well, Lich's Mastery. You come up with all these funky win cons and ways to like loop Chance of Glory with Lich's Mastery on the field, but the real win con, the opponent's tilt and scooping to a mega Settle the Wreckage. Well, I enjoyed playing this deck. I hope you will take it out for a spin yourself and enjoy it as well. This is dedicated to Sheldon on Patreon. Thank you for the $30 a month support. You wanted the Rainbow Lich, you have it. And to all of my viewers, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video.